The complaint sounded routine, a clogged drain. Water was backing up into the apartment below, a maintenance issue he thought nothing of. Nothing unusual, until the workers opened the pipes. What they found wasn't debris, it wasn't grease. It was something no one expected, and something no one could immediately explain. So the question became, what had been going through those pipes, and how long had it been happening before anyone noticed? A number, a name, an account that cannot be undone. Tonight's entry, rank number 86, 12 confirmed victims, suspected more. This is the story behind the number, Dennis Nilsen. This is Behind the Veil Truths. Act 1. The First Signs. London, late 1970s. Young men began disappearing from the city's shadows. Many of them lived on the margins of society, transient, unnoticed. The disappearances didn't always trigger immediate investigations. There were no clear connections, no obvious suspects, just emptiness and one haunting question. Were these isolated disappearances or part of something larger no one had yet seen? Act 2. The pattern emerges. Dennis Nilsen lived alone, quiet, reserved. To his neighbors, he was unremarkable, just another man in the apartment block. But he had a pattern. He would meet men in public places, offer them food, a place to stay. He'd strike up conversations and they would accept. He seemed safe, a tame face to many. There was no force, no chase, just an invitation. And that raised a chilling thought. How dangerous could someone be if they never appeared threatening at all? Act 3. Investigation and mistakes. As more men vanished, no clear link emerged. The victims came from different places, backgrounds, and circumstances. Crucially, many had no one actively searching for them. This created a blind spot in the system. Without strong reports or leads, patterns stayed hidden. Nilsen continued his routine, undisturbed and invisible to most. Even as time passed, no one connected the disappearances to a single location, an apartment, or a person. If you follow cases where the system fails to connect the dots in time, consider subscribing to Behind the Veil Truths. Because sometimes the most important clues are the ones no one is looking for. London's streets whispered with the echoes of vanished lives. Behind closed doors, Dennis Nilsen's quiet life hid a dark secret. He was unremarkable outwardly, but inside he carried a disturbing pattern. Suspicions didn't often arise until the bodies were nearly too many to ignore. When the pipes burst, and what was hidden was finally exposed, the true horror began to unfold. Each victim represented not just a statistic, but a story cut short in the shadows. The drain had exposed a killer, but it was only the beginning of understanding the man behind the crimes. The mystery lingered. As police finally pieced together fragments of the pattern, Nilsen's quiet facade had concealed a sinister truth for too long. The city's dark secrets became a chilling reminder that danger can lurk behind the most ordinary faces. To this day, the story of Dennis Nilsen serves as a haunting lesson in vigilance. Behind every unnoticed disappearance, something might be waiting unseen. And sometimes the most revealing clues are hidden behind the veil of normalcy. This is the story behind the number, behind the veil of what seemed ordinary, because the truth often hides in plain sight. Act 4. The discovery. The breakthrough didn't come from a witness nor from surveillance. It came from the plumbing. When workers investigated the blocked drain, they discovered material that didn't belong there. Police were called and traced the problem back to one apartment. Dennis Nilsen's. Officers entered the residence. At first glance, it appeared ordinary, but as they looked closer, they began to understand what had been happening behind that door. And the question shifted instantly. How could something like this exist unnoticed for so long in the middle of a city? Act 5. Arrest, Trial, Aftermath. Dennis Nilsen was arrested, and unlike many others, he did not deny his actions. He spoke openly, calmly, providing details that investigators had struggled to uncover. He was later convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. But what stayed with investigators wasn't just what he had done, but how long he had been able to do it. Undetected and unquestioned, hidden behind normality. Before we close this case, if you follow stories that uncover what hides beneath everyday life, consider subscribing to Behind the Veil Truths, because as this countdown continues, the line between normal and dangerous becomes harder to see. 12 confirmed, 12 lives stolen. Rank number 86 is behind us, but the descent continues. Because the next case on this list reveals something even darker. This is Behind the Veil Truths, and we're getting closer to number 1. Next episode, the number changes again, but this time the killer didn't hide in one place. He moved carefully, leaving behind a pattern that took years to understand.